Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Night Call. I am trying something a little bit different with my little guy in the corner, so hopefully he doesn't die again while we play this game. But yeah, let's get straight into it. We're on night 5. I still have no clue who the killer is. I finally have a picture. I took a picture the last time I played of the different people who could be the murderer. Um, so if I see them around during the night, I can interview them and talk to them. All right. You open one eye. You find your studio calming. There's something special about living in a garret. Like yours is the last place before the sky starts. You get up quickly. And a few minutes later, you're outside of your studio. Let's see. So Claudia is one of those people. So we'll speak to her. But yeah, I hope everyone's been having a good time. The trip to the airport is nicer at night than during the day. You can see. Okay, I guess I won't. Alright, so my solution works better than it was, but it's still lagging a little bit, which is a bit sad. You pick up your next passenger in front of Paris' office of the medical examiner, the morgue. When she gets in, you are surprised. How can she be a suspect? Her face, beautiful and soft, doesn't go with her clothing, her style, or her attitude. She gives you her address and you start driving. Her voice is dry, frank, and she has an accent you have trouble determining. South American, maybe? She seems far away, lost in thought. A few seconds go by and she still hasn't taken so much as a look at you. Everything okay? She almost jumps out of her seat and looks like she wants to disappear. Yes, everything is fine. That accent again. The one you can't place. Where's your accent from? My accent? She raises her head, surprised by your question. Argentina. Must be breathtaking. Yes, it's quite beautiful. She takes a pause. Although it's been years since I've been back. That's a shame. She starts to say something, but corrects herself finally, and finally, in a soft voice, says, Yes, it's a shame. Her sad smile runs across her face like a shooting star. A second goes by, slowly, very slowly. Then the meteorite explodes. Your passenger breaks down. I don't know. Maybe try and get her to calm down? Are you okay? She raises a hand to silence you. Between sobs, you hear her say something. Give me a minute. Please. Without a word, and without the slightest noise, you slow down. The road passes by slowly, in no hurry. After a moment, she sits up. Can I ask you something? You nod. She takes a deep breath. This may seem like a ridiculous question, or at least a stupid one. Actually, it's completely stupid. You give her an encouraging smile. But I'd like you to hit on me. She blushes and immediately follows up. I mean, not for real, just for play. Like we're at a bar, like you want to buy me a drink. She shakes her head. Forget it, it's stupid, totally stupid. What is it that you want me to do exactly? My job is very difficult, complicated. I don't get out much. I'm not much of a partier. And internet dating, not my thing. It makes me really uncomfortable. She sighs. Maybe I'm desperate, but I feel like being hit on. Yes, hit on, plainly and simple. I could care less if that shocks you or if it's funny, as long as you play along. Silence. So? I guess we'll go for it. Thank you. She smiles discreetly at you. That warms my heart, really. I just have a few rules, if you don't mind. First, I don't want to talk about Argentina, my home, my parents. Avoid the subject. She pauses. Does that work for you? You nod. Good. Second, I don't want to talk about work. I'm a medical examiner. Do you know what that is? Yes. I cut open dead bodies. That is a really sucky job. I take out bullets, tumors, cirrhosis-filled livers. I think that's how you pronounce that. At first, people are always fascinated, but they quickly get disgusted. So nothing about work. Quick water break. This time I have actual water, and not soda. So nothing about work. Let's start, if you're ready. You nod. We're in a bar. It's not very late. Not very late, but we're the only ones there. I'm alone at the bar, finishing a drink. I get up to leave. Silence. Please, go ahead. Getting on a passenger. This is definitely a first. You've got to find a good line, something that will set the tone. I think polite would work. Excuse me. Yes? Her voice is softer, her accent stronger. May I join you? Of course. She sits up a little and points to the imaginary bar next to her. Buy me a drink? Of course. How about a little game? You look like the kind of guy who drinks cocktails. Something sweet. I could be wrong, but... And what about me? What is my kind of drink? She rolls the R on the last word. I think something strong. She blinks. What do you mean by that? You drink to forget, you're lying to yourself, and you're trying to forget something. She stares at you. Maybe. She purses her lips. Maybe I drink to pass the time. She stares at you. Something about her posture in the back seat is different. Don't you think time goes by too slowly? I do. We wait. We hold on. I do. We wait. We hold on. We get bored. I'd like it all to go faster, for things to speed up. She relaxes, giggles. She's letting go. She looks at you expectantly. I like the way you laugh. You do? That's an odd compliment. It's true. Thank you. She closes her eyes and stays that way for a little while. A smile settles onto her face, a warm, natural, uncontrolled smile. Thank you. That's not all what I had in mind, but... She nods slowly. A few charming words. I think I got what I wanted. Her passenger sighs contently. She seems happy, relieved. You pull up in front of the address she gave you. It's strange. What's that? There's something different about you. You're not like other men, as if... She hands you her fare and slips you a tip. Don't refuse it, please. It means nothing. It means something to me. You nod. I hope to run into you again. You shiver. One last smile. Goodbye. She gets out of the cab. You watch her until she disappears into her building. Alrighty, let's see if there is anybody else from our little group that we need to investigate. Alrighty, doesn't look like there is, so let's go talk to whoever this is. That was a good conversation. I don't think it's her. I really don't think that it's her because the way that she hates her job, and the judge or whatever the name of the murder is, kills people. So I don't think that really mixes, unless there's information I don't have because I haven't played. What's the word I'm looking for? Since I haven't played correctly, probably. I must speak with you. I absolutely have to speak with you. Alrighty. The door slams, followed by a freezing cold burst of air. You stare at your passenger for a moment in the rearview mirror. She's wearing a rather unusual getup. You smile. Good evening. She nods before giving you you're giving the taxi a detailed once-over with a blank look on her face. Where to? She doesn't seem to hear you and continues scanning every part of the cab. After a very long minute, she crosses and uncrosses her fingers. You sigh. You usually like weird passengers like her, the strange ones, but this one, there's something about her you don't like. She clears her throat loudly. I came too early. He'll be here soon. She has a very strong Eastern European accent. Russian, maybe? What are you talking about? I'm going to try and do a Russian accent. I apologize if I fail. Heal me. She slowly smiles, revealing a line of dirty teeth stained with cigarette smoke and worn down from booze. Ludwig. The name may not ring a bell, but soon. I'm butchering this. She stops. Soon what? You'll be sitting right here, staring at you with his dead little eyes. Laughter bubbles up abruptly from the back of her throat. I am a ghost hunter, sir. Well, that was a horrible impression. She enunciates each word as it rolls off her tongue. Some creature from the netherworld. I'm gonna stop. Some creature from the netherworld live among us, encrusting themselves onto the lives like barnacles. She pauses, her tongue sounds so rough. Like oysters. The word is almost unintelligible with her accent. Ghosts are parasites, dead weight bearing down on our shoulders and back. Ghosts exist? Of course, sir. Not believing in something doesn't make it any less dangerous. On the contrary. No. That's what he wants you to believe. What he wants you to think. He's not doing anything wrong. You need to keep two essential things in mind. Ludwig is evil incarnate. He is a tour guide from the underworld, trying to sell you to your death. His cold fingers gripping on the edge of your window. I can feel it. I know it. They'll soon be here, holding on, just like this. Her words make less and less sense, like she's going into a trance. You have two essential things to keep in mind, and that was the first. The second is even more important. Do not make him angry. Listen to him. Help him. Make friends with him. And if I talk to this ghost, what will happen? He will take you with him to the underworld for all eternity. Her fingers adjust her collar. She starts to get out. It's easy to think Ludwig is a child. He's no child. He is a creature that has lived for centuries. A demon. Dangerous. Violent. She lays a hand on the door handle. Don't forget, make friends. No no matter what. Hey, you haven't paid! She pauses, hardly able to contain her laughter. You folks are unbelievable. What folks? French people? I'm saving your life, and you want me to pay? You got into my cab, lady. Her laughter fills the cab. Hey! She gets out of the cab and walks away. Her steps resonate on the cobblestones. She turns down a narrow street and footsteps come to a halt. You sit in silence for a while, till a damp feeling creeps up your back. Sweat. Fear. Running? In your veins? You open the window and let icy air, Parisian air, fill your cab. It's refreshing, perks you up. Do ghosts really exist? Isn't that all of that just... No. You turn the key to your ignition and get back to your shift. Man. Alrighty. Let's see. Is there anyone I know? What's that person? Okay, we'll talk to her. I tried and I feel like I did. You notice the huge dog on the sidewalk, no leash, but the owner looks like a bear scampering gaily about. I feel like I had a decent Russian accent. Like, I was trying, but I don't know how good it was. I'm going to take another drink of water, because this game likes to kill my throat sometimes. And this was one of those times where it's just a little much. Alrighty, let's see what she's about. Your next passenger is heavily pregnant. You help her get inside, but she waves you away with a hand. I'm fine. Judging from her accent, she's not from Paris. Not from France, English, or maybe American. Things just take a little longer these days. She settles in, adjusting her coat around her huge belly. You gun the accelerator and set off. Instinctively, you find yourself driving more deliberately. Not slower, just carefully. You regard the woman in the mirror. She's staring out at the window with a 1,000-yard stare. Her hands wringing themselves around each other like a fistful of snakes. Ugh. Your French is pretty good. She glances at the back of your head. I know. Where are you from? She sighs deeply. It's obviously not the first time she's heard the question. I'm from the UK. Wait, Manchester. I'm from Manchester. I mean, that's in the UK, but the distinction is important, especially these days. Say the UK and everyone assumes you're from London. That's honestly kind of true. I fucking hate London. A lot of people hate London. You've driven a fair few British people over the years. Most don't speak a word of French. Many had an odd sense of pride in their lack of language ability. But accent aside, the young woman behind you is fluent. I didn't mean to offend. She looks away from the window and into your eyes. You try a smile, her face softens. Don't worry about it. You get used to it. There are worse things you could have opened with. She shifts uncomfortably. How far along are you? Is it normal for cabbies to ask extremely personal questions from the get-go? I'm sorry if I am pressing. You shrug. Some people like to talk. It helps the ride pass quicker. Does it now? She squirms a little, small grimace passing over her face. 7 months. Fuck, it feels more like 17. An idea how hard it is going for a piss in a crowded shopping center, carrying another human around like a fucking personal bus service? Another human whose favorite pastime is just so happens to be giving your bladder a swift kick every 20 minutes? She blows out a sigh. Sounds like hot air escaping a kettle. It's pretty fucking hard. Her tone is harsh, but looking back, you see her hand stroking her belly. A small smile linger briefly on her lips. She's a feisty one, She's a feisty one, that's for sure. That's her French side. She's half French? Not sure it's half. I'm the one doing the heavy lifting. It's definitely a good third or so, yeah. That's why I'm over here. Ahmed insisting the little bugger pops out over here. Gets herself an EU passport. I could see the thought process behind that. The smile lingers on her face, dies in place, and she stares out the window once again. And he needed to get out of the UK after everything that happened. You mean the political situation? She sighs. Fucking Brexit. Alright, they were... I wasn't sure if they were gonna bring up that topic or not. As soon as she's spoken, her mouth folds into an O, and a groan splits from her throat. I swear, every time I talk about Brexit... Another grimace. She kicks the shit out of my womb. She rubs her belly and mumbles a few soothing words. After a moment, she returns her attention to you. But yeah, fucking B-word. I mean, no one thought it was actually going to happen. You'd see the campaigns on the streets, remain and leave. You'd pass them off as fanatics or something. I wasn't into politics, but when it's on the news every night, something leaks through. Something gets you thinking. Ahmed was more into it than I was, kept bringing home these flyers, blue for Remain, red for Leave. Like it was a fucking primary school popularity contest or something. You look back and notice her hand go to her mouth and she starts plucking nervously at her bottom lip. It must have been scary. Nothing was ever positive. Every argument, every headline, non-stop fucking negativity. Fucked if we stay, fucked if we leave. Promises from every side, numbers, predictions, posters, billboards. A few weeks before the vote, no word of a lie. The whole fucking city felt like a bomb about to explode. People at work getting into slinging matches about this bit or that bit. How could you possibly think versus you don't know what you're talking about? When the result came back, there was 20 minutes of celebration, and the brakes kicked on something harsh. Walking to work that morning, you couldn't help but judge everyone. Like, I wonder which way she voted. There are a couple of fights that at work, like proper fights, fists swinging all over the place. If there's one thing insecure fucking men need, it's something to throw punches about. How did you feel? Like everyone else, I suppose? Confused? Scared? I seen my attempts with my little guy in the corner didn't work. By the afternoon, you could see none of the fucks in London knew what to do. See those... Did you see those people on TV? Supposed to be jumping up and down about winning, and they're stood there looking like they just shat the bed. Which was, you know, ironic because that's exactly what they did. Now we're good. Now we're God knows how many months since, and fuck all's happened except everyone's even more scared. Things got real bad after. Ahmed had a few run-ins with Brexiteers, you know, the hardliner knobs with Union Jack hoodies and Winston Churchill tattoos. Ooh. Just told him to fuck off home. He could deal with that. He had the same over here. But one group. They were together one time. A group of them told me to fuck off with them, called me a traitor. Idiots squared up on them. Things got tense. First time I've ever been glad to see a copper. So yeah, we fucked off. Wasn't worth it over there. Ahmed's job had dried up anyway. No one wanted to hire a foreigner. Been staying with a lot over here since spare room. His mom doesn't speak a word of the Queen's. Her dad tries, bless him. They love baked beans. She smiles to herself. But now this one's almost here. I don't know. I don't fucking know. She shifts again. The seat creaking under her weight. That's a sound you seldom hear. What would you have done? I mean, if you ever have a Brexit vote or something, how would you vote? I'd vote to remain. The EU isn't perfect. It's pretty bad, actually, from what I've heard. But division isn't an answer, it's a statement. And the people behind such statements have their own goals, goals that aren't on any billboards or flyers. Your answer seems to shake your passenger. She tugs on her lip aggressively. and the other hand balls itself into a fist. She sniffs. Everyone was so scared after the vote, yeah, but before and all, we had the Remain side telling us how fucked we were if we left. The Leavers telling us how fucked we'd be if we stayed. I saw Ma'am raised me and my brother on nothing. Nothing. Benefits didn't amount to anything. No one wanted to help a black single mother provide for her kids. Then we get into these fuckers turning up at our house telling us how much worse off we'd be if we leave. I mean, how much worse could it have gotten? When you're in the shit, change becomes fucking attractive. If you had people offering you same old, and the others pushing for something new, promising change and a new start, how the fuck do you think you're gonna vote when the same old ain't giving you shit? You voted leave? I get her thought process though. I completely get her thought process. What else was I gonna do? She sucks in a gallon of air into her lungs and continues. Before the vote, it was all about making our own laws again, stopping people 2,000 miles away from telling us how to live. Her accent thickens as her voice cracks. It were about making sure we were looked after, you know? Ma'am is almost on her pension. I just wanted to do best by her. There was no talk of stopping anyone who ain't English living there. If it weren't about that to me. She sniffs again. And now it's all fucked. You pull up to her destination and she fumbles her fare over to you. Sorry about that. No problem, I understand. Yeah. At least over here everything's, well, over there. I don't have to think about it every fucking moment. I never told Ahmed that I, voted the way I did. He wouldn't understand. She moves to leave. You go to help her again, but she smiles her refusal at you. Really, it's okay. But I appreciate the offer. Makes me feel welcome. A few moments later, she waddles slowly to a door. Her hand continues to twist themselves into shapes as she waits for an answer until finally she disappears inside. You sigh, set off in the night. Alrighty. Once again, playing the game of anyone. Oh, it's this guy. Haven't talked to him yet. That was a interesting conversation. I definitely see her thought process, especially if the current way of life hasn't given you anything. Something new could and would be very, very attractive. So I don't fault her thought process at all. Your next passenger is your suspect, the retired policeman. Judging by his looks, you could have easily guessed. You nod your head and start the engine. You notice right away that your passenger is cold. Very cold, in fact. He's shivering and chattering teeth. Start driving, but keep an eye on him. I'll turn up the heat. He flashes you a crooked smile. That's really not necessary. Thanks, though. I'm not cold, it's my medication. Pretty bizarre side effects. One minute I'm hot, the next I'm cold. Not much fun, though. Not much fun, really, but it's for my own good. His face says otherwise. He's not quite convinced. Actually, maybe it is the cold. It hasn't been this cold in ages. Since 1982, I think. 83, maybe? And almost in a whisper, he adds, the year of the tiger. Which tiger? See him hide his trembling hand in his pocket. It's a really nice story, actually. Well, maybe nice isn't the right word. You'll see. He'll get my mind off things. He has a nervous laugh and is clearly uncomfortable, probably not used to appearing fragile. It was late December, the weather was crap, never been so cold in my life. The water in the fountains and the gutters was frozen. At the office, most of my colleagues were sick, stuck in bed. I was sick too, but I was new, so I sucked it up, blowing my nose every 5 minutes. My nose was red. My breathing reeked of cough drops. We all looked like we were about to keel over. The switchboard phone rang and no one answered. I sighed, got up, picked up the phone. A woman screamed in my ear. A tiger. She had seen a tiger, orange and black, big as a motorcycle in the Rue de Bushi? I burst out laughing, told her it was a good prank, and hang up. Less than a minute later, the phone rang again. The second line, too. Then the one in the chief's office. He points to different areas of the car as if you can still hear the phones ringing. A tiger. A really big one. Rue de Bushi, Rue de Seine, Rue de Bois Arts. The passenger rubs his chin and seems deep in thought. We were starting to think something fishy was going on, so we get a move on. We grab our coats, scarves, when the guys from the squad calls his brother-in-law who works at the zoo in Benzines. He sighs. Outside it was snowing buckets. Who flicks the size of your gear shift here? We're better off foot. When we get to St. Michael, we walk down the Quai de Grand Augustine, knocking on doors. The people we talked to wanted us to take their word for it. They swore they'd seen a tiger. They were dead serious. We walked the streets, snow was slowing, but only barely. He looks at you. I'm sure you're familiar with that moment in the middle of the night when Paris is completely quiet. You nod. It's incredible. It's like the city stops for a moment. Yeah, well, it was just like that. Utter and total calm. Absolute silence. The team broke into pairs. We checked alleys and passageways. Back then, the neighborhood was like Swiss cheese, nooks and crannies all over, garages built without permits. It wasn't the highbrow neighborhood it is today. He heaves a sigh. He seems sad. We went into this narrow street because my partner wanted to thought he saw paw prints. And he was right. There was snow all over the dumpster, on the roof of the garage, the building balconies. Tiger had climbed up there, so we followed. We pulled out our weapons, started after the prints, dumpster, garage roof, balconies. My partner was huffing and puffing, huge puffs of smoke were escaping his mouth. The passenger snickers. He stopped and told me that we must look like our ancestors, like prehistoric men wearing flint spears. We couldn't help laughing. We knew how stupid we must look. We get up to the roof. The tiger was there. Damn, what a shock. It was a magnificent beast, almost 2 meters in size, maybe more. It took our breaths away. The tiger looked at us. There was fear in his eyes. He was shaking. We realized we'd screwed up. We never should have come. If it attacked, we'd had to kill it. But neither of us wanted to kill it after seeing it. He stared at us. Paris was utterly calm, snow as far as the eyes could see, a white skyline. And then, the passenger pauses. He closes his eyes slowly. Something in his voice cracks. He jumps off the roof. It was remarkable. A moment of silence. He's still shivering. He's trying to escape? No. Didn't aim for another building, or for me or my partner. He jumped into the void. He knew he'd been cornered. The passenger needs a few seconds before going back to his story. You get the impression he's still shaking as much as when he got in. Now where was I? Oh yeah. We leaned as far as we could off the off the roof to look below. It looked like he was asleep, lying comfortably on the snow. A giant orange, red, and black spot on the feather bed. He watches the street go by. The hospital is closed now. What happened next? Paperwork. Lots of paperwork. The squad really took it to heart. It was a huge blow to morale. Like one of us had killed him. Like we'd lost one of our own. His hands go through his eyes as if he's checking for tears. It was just a tiger. He closes his eyes and heaves a huge sigh. Just a tiger. We park in front of the hospital. The passenger suddenly speaks up. His voice sounds more confident than before. I think I'd do just what the tiger did. His death seemed so calm and gentle. Can't hurt too much to fall on a huge bed of feathers. He glances quickly at his shaking his head, I think. In the rearview mirror, the police inspector seems oddly small, as if he'd shrunk during the ride. Seriously, can't hurt too much. He hands you his money and gets out of the cab. You watch him walk without saying a word. Sliding doors at the entrance to the hospital take far too long to open. You drive away. That was a story. Now that was a story. Oh, you met Claudia. You charmed Claudia. You met Roxana. I'm still losing money. You met Lola. You met Frangenard. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Frangenard hunted a tiger. You wipe your face, you're starting to feel sleepy. You're suddenly overcome with the desire to sleep. You close your eyes, press your fingers to your eyelids, and let out a yawn. Take off your shoes before getting to work. Huh. I really thought I'd find out more. That's not what I was trying to do. Well, I guess we're ending the night then. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You lie down on the open sofa bed. The events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, their faces, their problems. Your brain is running at full speed, your body aches, and you are in pain. You can tell you need to get more sleep. You glance at your investigation board. You wish you were far away from here. Far, far away from here. You shake your head and your mind wanders for a second. A question comes to mind. A very odd one. So odd you need to say it out loud to be sure you're not dreaming. Was that really Santa Claus? You lie down there for a moment, listening to the echo of your own voice resonating around your studio apartment. The silence lulls you. Your eyes close. You fall asleep. Something is bothering you. Something stuck in your throat. You start coughing over and over. You lean out of your bed. A black shadow creeps out of your mouth and bangs loudly on the door. You wake with a start. Fucking nightmare. Glance at the floor. There's nothing there. You lie back down, still shaking. Alrighty. So I think we will probably end it here. I'm just trying to get through this so I can actually save. Alrighty. Alrighty, so that ends today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed. I'm pretty sure that the next episode might be the finale of The Judge. I'm not completely sure, but it seems like it based off of what Busette said in, like, I think episode 3. But regardless, I hope you all enjoyed. It's been a fun recording session, and hopefully I see you guys next time.